Happy Halloween, everyone, at YouTube and around the world, or what have you, whatever holiday it is. I, Doc777, with another fan fiction review. Now, I made a promise saying I'm going to review A Nightmare Before Christmas, but then I got a suggestion. And I figured, well, it's my first suggestion, I might as well get on that instead. And I spent all this time mixing, reading, figuring out what I'm going to say, and helping my friend out with the Halloween party. In fact, after this video is over, I have to head to her place so I can get everything, so I can help her finish setting everything up, because I'm also going to possibly be the designated driver, because I don't want people drinking and driving. I don't know. So the suggestion came from a guy named Adam Zadgel, and he suggested Pip's Treasure Chest from FanFiction. Now, as always, I will be leaving a link to the story in the description. Please like, subscribe. Please click on that. Again, click on that button for the subscription. I need the subscribers, please. Please, and make sure you leave a comment saying what your opinion of it is. I will have, before I get started on the review, I will have to say this, and that is warning, this story contains scenes that are not appropriate for anyone under the age 18. Why? Because this story has a lot of sex scenes, because it's a clop fic. He tells me right from the get-go in in the comments saying it's a clop fic. It's gonna have sex scenes. So it's like, all right. He said I can skip it without missing out the squares. It's like, but I'm a reader. I'm like, I'm gonna try and touch upon the sex as little as possible. But it's like, but this story is kind of impossible. But I wanted to get that disclaimer out of the way. Anyone under the age of 18, I would suggest do not continue the story. Or better yet, you're just gonna ignore me because you're little children and you're probably gonna complain about how you fucked my mom. Good luck with that. She's ugly. I don't like my mom. She has a temper. I don't like tempers. So, let's get started with the plot. So, the plot stars in Ponyville. To set the scene, everyone is anthro. So they have pony and human, but they walk on two legs and everything. And they're horny little bastards. This stars Pipsqueak. If you all know who Pipsqueak is, go watch My Little Pony, the Halloween episode, which he famously coined "scary but fun." And as soon as I looked at the story, it's like, and I saw this is a sequel to another story. Like, okay. And here we get my first, pretty much my only real complaint. It's honestly just honest nitpicking with this one. But it's like, this story has zero connections to, like, the last two stories. So it's like, why are you, like, putting, it's in the same universe. I mean, after the author's stories. Oh, by the way, the author's name is, I kid you not, Bruni Wan Kenobi. Makes you wonder what would happen if Obi-Wan did like My Little Pony. He said, Obi-Wan, what are you doing? He said, nothing, Anakin. Are you playing with little horses? No. Go make out with Asuka. It's Ahsoka. Go make out with her. I don't love her. She's orange, right? No. She's orange. Yeah. Why are you playing with toys? They're ponies. And so they're all part of what the author calls the Island series. But it's like, it's either one, you get rid of this is pretty much the only thing I would change. Either get rid of that part on the synopsis, saying, oh, this is a sequel to Anniversary. It's like, it has no connection to Anniversary, except for the fact they take place in the same world. Or go back to the first story, Dangerous Mix, and just say, oh, this is a sequel to, what's the name of that story? I have it in my log. Where is it? Nightmare Night Fun. I mean, it's one or the other. I mean, it's not wrong button. It's just an honest nitpick. That's pretty much the only complaint. It's just a minor one. I mean, you don't have to do it if you don't want to. Now, on to the plot. So it stars Pipsqueak, again, scary but fun, and he gets a bride. He owned a bar. His parents decided to, like, from what I read, they wanted to retire, and they gave him the bar, as like a big gift. But he couldn't find any love because he's short. It's a psychology thing. Girls love tall guys. Guys like short girls. Why? So he goes to this mail. He does a mail order bribe, and he gets a Thestral, which is a bat pony, based on what it kept saying, named Succubus. I'm not joking. That's actually the name of the Thestral. And so they fall in love. So they literally rush through a relationship. I mean, at first I kind of had a complaint with that part of the plot simply because it rushed a relationship, and I really don't like that. But as I kept reading the story, it said for this type of story, that whole rushed relationship kind of thing kind of makes sense because as soon as I got to the end, it's like, okay, now it makes sense, and they do and it kind of grows on you that they do start genuinely start loving each other, and it kind of like goes through the story, and you kind of have to feel for them. They do have sex. Let's see, Succubus. She is a whore. No, I'm kidding. She's not a whore. Her special tenet is she seducts people, which just automatically when I've read that, it's like, she's a whore. Is she? Nah. Yeah. When I got farther in the story, it's like, nope. No. It just kind of got me off guard for like a minute, and then it's like, okay. And so, as the plot progresses, they start trying to spruce up the bar that Pip works at, because another bar named Keggers, which I swear to God, this part kind of reminded me so much of Dodgeball. And that's not a complaint, that's just an honest compliment, because as soon as Kegger automatically gave him Ben Stiller's voice. Oh, yeah, you want to play Dodgeball? Oh, you want to see my team? Blade. Laser. Blazer. Arr, I'm Steve the Pirate. Arr. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know why I connected the dots for that, but it's not a complaint. I'm not complaining about that. It's just I have no idea why. So in order to compete, because Keggers is like one of those sports bars that have like cheap beer. I don't drink, so I don't want to go. So I don't care about bars in general. So Pips, well, more Succubus's idea says, we'll turn the bar into a strip club. Okay. So they reformat. They actually get help from Rarity, who decides to, I'll help you out and give you the funding. Just let me have like a little erotic store in the basement in the corner. Whoop. So that way I get the sex customers. And then it starts going well. And it's like, okay, it's a neat little job. I honestly thought that Kegger was gonna be like the main driving force behind helping their relationship grow, because he's trying to get them closed down while saying, "Oh, I'm Kegger. I've got cheap beer. You want some? I got 2 for 1." And I figured, I mean, he'd be okay as a villain, but then there was something of a mystery element to it with the whole background of Succubus's backstory, and I really like that. So her I keep forgetting to say this, spoilers. So Succubus's backstory is that she's part of the Thestral culture, and she has gigantic breasts. Me, personally, I prefer small breasts, but it's like, if you like big breasts, that's fine. However, in Thestral culture, having gigantic breasts is excuse me. Why do you want burping? Is seen as a bad thing, because they have wings, so it's like they need the small breast to be able to fly better. So her family, who is like I think from what it said, like one of the last, if not the last, noble family in the Thestral culture, and they didn't want people to realize, oh, she has gigantic boobs, so they literally put her in like an iron corset and made her dress to and she ran away for Pit just so that she can have protection from Twilight and Luna, because Luna lives there, and so that way she can actually be free. And I thought, oh, that's a very nice, because it's a very nice moral. And again, lots of sex happens. So overall, the plot. I'm not going to talk about the enemy because that's a sequel hook, and there's a sequel that the author is working on, and I don't want to talk about that one until it's done, because again, I don't review completed stories. As for the plot, I like the plot. Again, at first, I thought the relationship was really rushed, but as the story went on, it's like the rush thing kind of works for the story. It could have been done better, but it's good enough that I can't really honestly throw a complaint to it. I think maybe the story could have been just a smidge longer in terms of the actual plot, so that way, there's like a scene where, they go on a date. I mean, just throwing like a scene, like an extra chapter saying they just go on a regular date, like they have a date, like, and that pretty much be it. It's a simple date. In terms of character, I like Pip. I don't know. As far as I know, outside of the scary butt fun, I don't know who Pip is. All I know is, well, that's the guy who likes Princess Luna. And so Seam has an adult, short guy who who's down on his luck, who just wants to find love, and is desperate enough to do a mail order bride. He's an okay character. I wouldn't call him bad, but I was like, maybe the story could have been longer to flesh out his character. Again, this is all based on the fact that I haven't read the sequel yet, and until the story sequel is completed, I'm not going to touch that. For all I know, his character could develop further in that, so I don't want to pass judgment on that until I read the second story. The character of Succubus. I like the character. A showed off mayor Thestral, who basically just wants to be free, who wants to show off her body, who, despite the fact in her culture, big breasts are not exactly welcome, and she honestly just wanted to be free. She just wanted to be happy, but at the same time, she wanted to commit to having a relationship. So I really kind of sympathize. Sympathize with her. I'm pulling work, brother. I'm Hulk Hogan, brother. Something about balls, brother. I don't know why I pulled that out of nowhere. I don't know. Sympathize with her. Why am I bugging up my words? I don't know why. Again, I think an extra chapter where they go on a date would have had some chance to broaden her character a little bit, but that's minor. Again, it's just a minor thing. It's not so much it's ruining the story. All the other characters I introduced, like the other strippers, keggers, who I still gave up him and Belle's voice because having flashbacks to Dodgeball for no reason. It's I don't know. Where's Steve the Pirate? I'm here. Arr! Let me throw a dodgeball at you in the face. Rumble, he wasn't really there. Again, the main characters were Pip and Succubus, so I was outside of them, it's they're there, but it's they fill the roles of peripheral characters perfectly. In terms of grammar, the thing I didn't like about Burning One Kenobis is the fact the last two stories, Dangerous Mix and Anniversary, which I read before I read Pip's Treasure Cove, was the fact there was a lot of grammar errors, and I was hoping, please don't have any grammar errors for the stories. I was so happy that, as far as I could see, again, this one's more subjective. If you see any grammar errors, please let me know. I didn't see any grammar errors. Again, I'm not a grammar Nazi, so I'm not going to get gung-ho about it. I'm more into characters and plots and everything like that. So, in terms of... Crud, I gotta put back the page. Wow. In terms of pacing and imagery, the imagery was fine, nothing too great. I mean, in a story as long as this, I mean, you're not the story is kind of going to be more focusing on the erotic stuff, and I do like descriptions of how the stripper go, how the stripper cases go, and I thought, oh, that's a nice touch. I mean, it's not great, but it's good enough for this type of story. Uh, Pacing, on the other hand, I felt the pacing was a little weak. This probably would be my main complaint of the story. Probably would be a little weak. I think it was paced just a smidge too fast. I think, and again, this is more based on the fact that I don't know what was going to happen with the sequel. Again, this one might change my mind about the pacing depending on how the sequel goes. This one's subjective, so I can't put full judgment on that one just yet. Considering the fact, one, this is supposed to be one universe, and two, there is obviously going to be a two-part story, and the second part isn't finished yet. Now, connection to genre and emotional investment. It's a sex story, so it's like this is one of those stories. This is a type of story that you can't really get emotionally invested. Not so much is the fact that it's bad, but so much the fact it's the genre of a story. For an erotic story, you're just there to fantasize. You can't get emotionally invested in a pure sex story, but there's enough outside the sex in terms of plot that you can get slightly invested, especially in Succubus's backstory. Connection to genre, it's a mature sex, romance, anthro, and slice of life. Obviously, it's more focused on sex. I would cut out anthro simply because it's kind of obvious. But since it's FanFiction, it's not, and again, anthro is not really a genre, so I can't. So it's mainly just romance and slice of life. In terms of, I see the romance, but it's like there's not enough to give me the slice of life. Again, maybe the date chapter would, or like a chapter that didn't have to do with the bar. That would be nice and help out the slice of life. I see shades of it, but it's like not enough to warrant that genre tag. Now, what I recommended, favorite part and final thoughts. In terms of favorite part, I really don't have a favorite part because this is like another one of those situations where nothing really stood out to me. Not so much anything was really bad. It's just nothing stood out to me in terms of a favorite part. Would I recommend it? That one's kind of a gray area. It's kind of a catch-22. Either you recommend it or you're technically willingly upset saying read this porn or not. And it's like it's a good story, but if I put the bias out of the way, I would slightly recommend it, if only for the sequel hook. If only for the sequel hook, and that's would be pretty much it. I mean, nothing stands out to the story to want me to recommend it, but that sequel hook with having like an evil Prince Charming, that is the complete opposite of Succubus. So it's like, and the mystery of why Succubus and Pip got like a note from Twilight and Luna. So it's like it starts out as something you wouldn't recommend to men, but it tapers off and ends with like a hell of a sequel hook that you just want to get into. I honestly cannot wait for the sequel when it finishes. I'm probably going to review that since I reviewed this one, but I would honestly, if the second story is as good as the sequel hook is positioned as, I probably would recommend both as like a two-part story. But other than that, I can't by itself. I can't really recommend it outside of that end. Final thoughts. I'm happy that I finally got a recommendation, despite the fact it literally happened right after I made the video. I would say this. Crap. There it is. Adam, I would suggest that in the rule I suggested make sure you have a reason why you want me to review the story, because the only reason I kind of broke that rule because you're gonna like the first one is like, I figured why not? I figured I at least break the rule for myself just so I can get everything, just so I can get it, just so I can like see how how you think I did, because I'm pretty sure, I'm not 100% sure, I'm pretty sure you're Bernie 1 Kenobi. I don't know for sure, but I'm watching you. And that will be it. I mean, I can't say anything worse besides go Dodgeball! I love that movie. Weird way to end a video. So this has been Dark7777. Make sure to read the story. Please tell me what you think of the story. And as always, shameless plug. Please, if you have any suggestions, please go to my fanfiction page right now. My fanfiction page or my FanFiction page, and leave me a comment. And leave me a personal message telling me what story you want me to read. Make sure it has a why you want me to review it. And I was gonna say one more thing. I'm having a brain fart. I'm having a brain fart. And and make sure to like the story. I'm hoping likes. No, that wasn't what I was gonna say. I don't know. I'll probably remember as soon as the video goes off. So anyway, that's it for this review. Next time, I'm probably either gonna do a reading or another review. I'm hoping to do like something. I don't know. So I'll see you next time. This has been Dark DS777, and